What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another pre-market watch list here today. Thank you guys once again for tuning in as always. So we're going to go ahead and jump into it here in just a few, probably about a minute or so. Wait for some more people to get in here today on the stream. So as soon as we get a few more people in, we'll get rocking and rolling on which stocks that I would consider trading today. So definitely going to be watching YECO, PLAG, Boeing, and AT&T. Those are kind of the couple main stocks that are going to be on the watch list here for me today specifically. So first one on the list, we're going to go ahead and get into sharing the screen here. So first one that I would probably keep on watch today is going to be PLAG. So PLAG is a little bit interesting here today. There might be some movement on it again. As you can see, we've had some pretty crazy volatile days on PLAG. So, you know, ideally what's going on here with PLAG is it's just starting to trend up. It's just trending up is all it's doing. And, you know, there's been a lot of people trading it. It's been pretty active recently. So, you know, right now PLAG is, you know, channeling up and down and up, and it's doing this again. So there might be a move to the upside on this later today. So I would keep PLAG on your watch list today. It doesn't look super strong right now, but I think, you know, it could definitely pick up. It's had pretty good volume in the morning for the past couple days. So who's to say that we can't get a nice little bit of volume today and keep that run going for PLAG? I think it is possible. Right now, the resistance on PLAG is really this $8 mark, as you can see, you know. So $8 right now is the resistance point on PLAG. So there could be somewhat of a breakout on PLAG over the $8 mark today. So we'll just keep it on watch. It really needs to, you know, stay intact with at least this trend line for a move later in the day. So if it starts to break down and it goes to this trend line and it kind of bounces up, and then it might have a move later in the day, but it would at least have to stay above that trend line support in order to do so. Okay. Next one on the list is YECO. So YECO is one that I'm keeping on watch for a possible move today to the upside as well. It doesn't look all that great right now, without a doubt, but basically playing on the idea here that I think since this big move up and this big move down, we've kind of based and consolidated. We're starting to push up. So I think there could be a move like that today on YECO. Now, there's no guarantee, but again, right, we had this strong move up on YECO. Then a bunch of people came in and shorted it down. It consolidated for 2 days straight without breaking down. We got the spike up, consolidating sideways again. I think we could be setting up for a move to the upside. So this would be playing on the idea that we're going to, you know, the long bias traders might be able to win over the battle and start pushing the stock up, and then we'll start breaking through some key support levels, or sorry, resistances, and we might be able to get some of these short sellers that have been in the stock long term to start squeezing up. If you look at the daily chart, it's right down on its 9 moving average, so it kind of bouncing right on the 9 moving average support. So I do think that we could see a pop on YECO today, maybe in the coming days. Just kind of needs to hold up pre-market, see what it does. Again, very low volume right now, but if some volume comes in and pushes it up, we could start seeing YECO moving. One second. All right, so on to the next one here is we have PLAG. We went over YECO is Boeing. So Boeing had earnings today. Okay, so they're actually doing pretty well, it appears. So you can see it's already kind of squeezing up big time here. What you can do is look at their earnings report here. If you go to like the live news channel on Thinkorswim, it does appear that they did have some good earnings and they raised their guidance. So when a company has pretty good earnings and they raise their guidance, it's a good chance we're going to see that move to the upside. So you can already see today Boeing is moving higher. It's starting to break above some key levels from the past days here. So it just broke over the 365 mark, which was a pretty strong resistance. You can see right there, pretty strong resistance going across. So I think if Boeing can hold up and over 365, it could be good for a long. So we'll be watching Boeing to the long side today. One thing I would do is first watch and see if it dips and then maybe take it long. Okay, I wouldn't necessarily see it being the best long right out of the gates. I would maybe wait for a dip before buying it long, and also make sure to follow the S&P 500 or the Dow Jones to kind of get an accurate direction on which way the stock might go, because what happens in the market does help and play an effect on the which way Boeing will be trading. Okay, so Boeing, I would definitely keep an eye on. Now Boeing does have a 52-week high of 394, so almost 400. I mean, I don't necessarily think it's just going to run right up back to the 52-week high. But I think we could possibly see it up to 370, maybe over 370 today. So just going to keep that on watch for now. Last one here is T. We will look at Tesla. So the next one here is AT&T. They had earnings. Didn't appear that they had the best earnings report. And you can see obviously they're moving down. So for me, AT&T could be a short play if it gets below 31.50. Right now, it's starting to bounce off of this 31.50. Yeah, I mean, it's starting to bounce right around this 31.50 mark. So right now, AT&T is sort of down towards a pretty good support. Now, what I would wait for on AT&T is to see if it bounces up out of the gates and then maybe take a short. I wouldn't really want to chase the short down on AT&T, but I think we could be seeing AT&T move lower. But first, I want to see it come up and then probably enter a short position on it. One second. Next one on the list here is we'll look at Tesla. So a lot of people are talking about Tesla. So Tesla has their earnings coming up in after hours today, right? I thought it was after hours. Yeah, I think isn't it after hours today? Tesla. So price target announced to 350 a share on Tesla. Yeah, it doesn't look like they've actually done the earnings report, is what it seems like. No. So still waiting on that. But yeah, it's moving up pretty big. So what's taking place now is, a lot of it's just a short squeeze, right? Big short squeeze. So right now, Tesla is up into some previous resistances around 310 area. Personally, I would just hold off on Tesla. I would just trade it. If there's intraday patterns, I would trade it, but I wouldn't invest in it until after the earnings report fully comes out and we can actually see what's going on. But yeah, I mean, that's just kind of it. I would just hold off on Tesla until you see what happens on the earnings report. And this is the same thing I've been saying for the past couple months on Tesla, is to wait and see what happens on their earnings report. The reason it's pushing up so big is because we had that recent news that, Citron Research is now long the stock instead of short. So it picked up in momentum there, just led to a big short squeeze is really what I think happened here. So yeah. So again, I would just watch Tesla for now. I wouldn't be, too gung ho on anything just yet for Tesla right now. So, anyways, yeah, those are kind of the main stocks that I'm watching for today. So, GTE, too low volume. Caterpillar. So Caterpillar after their earnings is kind of like shook down and bounced around a little bit. For me, I would keep it on watch. I would watch Caterpillar. This might bounce some more in the coming days, and there might be some money to make on the upside. So yeah, I would continue watching Caterpillar. I think that's a smart move. I mean, ELY, I would just watch it. That's just about it. I would watch it till they have their earnings report. Once they have their earnings report, then I would look at maybe trading them. Apple, Apple's still kind of just channeling back and forth, holding up right now in this trend. Again, Apple's also dependent on the market. Depending on which way the market moves, Apple will probably pick that direction too. So I'd say if we start getting some upward movement in the market, we're probably going to see Apple pick back up. It's the only one like big tech stock that didn't take a major hit as bad as the other ones when the market started selling off recently. So there's definitely more strength in Apple, right? There's more optimism in a long on Apple or bullishness on Apple because it is one of the major FANG stocks that took like the least big of a hit when the market went through that big corrective move. So again, Apple's pretty strong. I would not trade it for their earnings. I would wait until after they report earnings. PTIE. PTIE is pretty much just sideways flatlining right now, so I probably would not trade them. TTNP, again, this is another one pretty low. I would say TTNP is probably pretty close to running. It's just filled its gap up to the 60-cent mark, so I'd be a little cautious on trading TTNP. I believe we're going to go through a market recession very soon. So AMD, and AMD is another one you could watch. AMD is in a wedge pattern this morning, so if AMD can break out of this wedge to the upside, there might be a long play. That's still just it. Right now, it's still just kind of channeling back and forth in this wedge pattern. So it can go one of two ways, up or down. AMD, again, dependent on market movement. So follow the stock market in the direction that it moves. You'll probably have a better understanding of which way this might move today. So that is all I have for you today on the live stream. So hopefully it helps you guys determine some stocks that you might be looking at trading today. Again, I'm going to be following YECO. Pretty optimistic about that. Do know that could have a really big short squeeze. If enough buying pressure comes back into the stock and it gets pushed up, it could lead towards a big short squeeze on YECO and could have a big move. So following that one closely, and then keeping an eye on PLAG and a couple of these earnings reports. We've had a lot of volatility recently, so still paying attention to the scanners, seeing what pops up on the scanners. So other than that, guys, have a good day, and I will see you guys all tomorrow morning for another live stream.